we bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Dip Dipianco. In tonight's game plan, we're talking about the NBA Finals with some red-hot takes, but first, we go over the biggest highlights of UAAP Season 85.
Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Well, the UAAP games may be done and dusted for Season 85, but we can't seem to get over some of the biggest moments in the return of collegiate sports, the full return of collegiate sports. Now, let's talk about those highlights with UAAP Executive Director Attorney Rebo Sagiza, again, UAAP President, Father Aldrin Suwan, CM. Great to have you with us. Congratulations on the season. Maraming salamat for bringing it all back. Father, I want to ask you first, kasi this was the first full season back para sa UAAP, not like what we had in the pandemic before wherein not all the sports could come back. How did you feel na, okay, natapos na natin yung first full season, all the sports are back, everyone is back playing, and there was just so many smiles all around?
Actually, very thankful kami na it ended the whole season. Kasi at in the middle of the hosting, there's always ang fear na anytime COVID will come, will surge, na suddenly you will stop the tournament. So, assessing the whole year, good na all events were na-run through siya.
Yeah. So
Yun
now,
lang.
with no hitches.
with no other cancellation or postponement or whatever.
Right, because nung Season 84, hindi pa nga tayo talaga full-blown.
Yeah.
And like what Father said, meron pa tayong mga restrictions, but this time around, nagawa natin lahat. No? So, ED, tanong ko sa'yo, what were the learnings, I guess, na nadala natin dito sa Season 85 that we can also bring forward to the next season of the UAAP?
Well, just to be 2 or 3 steps ahead of the game, no? Actually, to just clarify, no, when we started in 85, mahirap din mag-navigate because alanganin. Andun kami sa parang purgatorio, if you will, no? Parang may restrictions pa rin initially. So we had this initial setup na awkward, no? Na parang hindi mo alam kung saan ka lulugar.
Yeah.
But if you have a clear plan, no, and you consult the experts all the time and continuous meeting consultation, we can really pull this off. And we did, no, with flying colors, I must say.
And ED, of course, you built on a lot of new things in terms of the season. Again, it's as if you didn't miss a beat because you did miss a couple of seasons because of the pandemic years.
Yeah.
But what can you build on? What can the UAP build on moving on to next season that you've done this season?
Well, like I said, yun nga, yung importante dito pa rin yung yung consultation with the experts, hindi nawala yun, no? Kasi it was really a health scare. And then in continuous coordination namin, communication, and then avail ngayon that COVID has really made us realize the availment of siguro technology to make things more efficient, no? And put a premium pa rin on health. So those are the things that we have to really put attention on.
Right. Father Aldrin, itong UAAP, we saw a lot of athletes play. Marami rin nag-represent sa SEA Games. So what do you think yung impact ba ng pagbabalik ng collegiate sports overall in the country for these student athletes?
Ito nga, di ba, by the record, almost 73 current enrolled sa UAP schools participated sa Cambodia. I think that's, so far by history, that's the biggest number na from collegiate athletes. So talagang parang yung hunger nila to really to be into sports really nag-shine during the season 85.
Dip, we have a treat here because we have si Father and si ED, both of them gave us a list.
Right.
It's their turn to be the analysts on the show and give us their opinions on what were the biggest highlights for them in the past season. So let's start off first with si ED Rebo. You picked out a person in particular as one of your items here. Itong si Jerome Lastimosa, the People's Champ. Bakit siya the People's Champ?
Well, I still remember, nasa office kami noon. And I don't know if I really felt na Arneta parang umuugong from outside. And apparently, Ateneo and Adamson were both cheering MVP. And Jerome was, kikilabutan ka at the side of it. Ang nakakalungkot doon, babalik pa pala. So sabi mga father, hinog na si Jerome, mag-pro ka na.
Well, nakita na nga natin yan sa Gilas.
Right.
Again,
Yes.
Jerome Lastimosa, amazing, and still will be in the UAAP, bringing fear to everyone's hearts.
All right.
Actually, all the ABMDs from other school urging Jerome to go pro. Encouraging him.
May staff tayo dito ng Lasal who's nearby who's saying the same thing. Oh.
And rightfully so, tama naman na may top moments kasi they were there all throughout, diba?
Yes.
Si ED and Father Aldrin. Lipat tayo sa top highlights naman ni Father Aldrin. Kakatapos lang ng volleyball season and ito unlikely mangyari siguro in how many years ulit mangyayari ito. But Father, you chose this moment, dalawang Rookie of the Year, nag-MVP rin at the same time in volleyball.
In the same calendar year.
Yes. Ang memory ko bilang bata ay si Benji Paras, di ba? Sa PBA. Siya yung Rookie of the Year. Tsaka nag-MVP. Wala nang ibang history pa eh. Unlike yung last year, si Belen.
Yeah.
Yun, si Belen ng ROY at saka MVP rin sa'yo. Suddenly ito, sa for volleyball, mga young players, expectation natin only best among the first year pero competing na with the seniors. Parang very rare opportunity yun na having that kind of tournament.
Again, Canino and Belen, grabe, the generational talents almost are right at one after the other.
And Ibanez in volleyball.
Joyce Ibanez.
Right.
Ibanez.
Absolutely. And there's just so much to look forward to and from these very young athletes. And of course, Father, I want to go on to the next one because we also have Ken Francis Hardin, who not a lot of people will probably know of in general, who he ended up with 7 gold medals in high school athletics. And he's unassuming, and he was a highlight for you.
Yeah, unassuming kasi if you try to look at his build, talagang small guy lang. I'm taller than him, I think.
Yeah.
Parang smaller, but for just competing with 7 events, all golds. 5 individuals and then 2 sa race.
Again, Ken
Talagang
Francis Hardin.
From Iloilo.
From Iloilo, someone to look forward to again kasi high school, if I'm not mistaken. So still, I can't wait to see what he does in seniors and of course for flag and country later on.
Right, let's look at another moment ni Edi Rebo, no? Football always on the rise, especially with the Filipinas representing us in the World Cup. But here, in the UAAP ED, yung women's football din, no, medyo umaangat tayo. FE Women's Football Rookie of the Year, you chose that as your top moment.
Okay, just to clarify, hindi ko siya pinili kasi Rebo Sura ang surname. But I believe she was here. I don't need
Yes,
to...
she was.
Iba yung storya pala. No? It's really rising above poverty. So it just gives us, the UAAP is more than sport. No? So yung story na from Payata. So that's really touching. And I was there. She scored the winning goal in the last 2 minutes of in the extended
Extra
period.
time, yeah.
So, grabe yung game na yun. Father was there.
Yeah,
grabe
Father
yung
was
excitement
there.
namin nun. So, umuulan pa. So, that was a moment. No?
Yeah, I was watching via Signal Play and cheering on for my Lasal. And she visibly broke my heart.
Yes.
We mentioned a couple of your other highlights, which was si Angel Canino and si Bella Balen in terms of yung ginawa nila this season. But then you also wanted to mention itong si Fifi Sharma. Yung Wolverine moment niya.
Yeah, I don't know if you have the clip though, but we were all there sa side and when she did that, parang iba, alam niyo naman yung gesture niya, but I guess that also they were down, no, in game 2. So I guess they were rising also. So iba yung expression ni Fifi. She was very it reminds me when I used to play, dahil yun lang kaya kong gawin mangangas lang Alam mo na akong galing. But it really stuck to me, no, yung ginawa ni Fifi, that Wolverine moment. No?
Right.
So, yeah.
And of course, other sports, hindi naman tayo focus lang sa basketball, volleyball, football. But we also have the rising and dancing as one in the ballroom formation competition. It was one of the latter parts of our events dito sa UAP. Can you tell us more about that competition?
Again, Father was there and we said that this has potential. This may be the new cheer dance, no? And in fact, ang favorite part namin ni Father, yung nakahilera yung mga bata waiting for the winners to be announced. Good vibes, everybody was dancing. It was, I guess, expression of something. And they were just dancing together as one.
Yeah.
Kasama si Father. I have a clip. Dapat yun ang binigay ko.
Actually, yan din. We're playing the clip right now. As we see the joy in
and I was
everyone's
taping it.
faces.
Yeah,
Oo, pero sigurado, Edie, sumasayaw ka rin.
Well, yeah.
But Father, again, seeing all of that and all of these stories, it's so heartwarming to see na may sense of normalcy na tayo. And you actually listed that down as one of your key highlights. Not just for the community, but for the country in general. Just how important was it for you personally na nakita mo to and you were a big part of it?
Yeah, I just want to use the word used by our president, Father Manny, the word harbinger.
Harbinger ba? Harbinger?
Harbinger pala dance. Parang bang, it's not just about sports. Parang having this kind of UAP full scale ng season, parang it's a sign to the community that we are recovering from the pandemic. Parang the determinations and it's not only in terms of sports because alam naman, parang we are back into business.
Yeah.
The economic recovery, the entertainment, the people being gathered together. Parang having that kind sa UAP, parang nagiging sense yan, not only for the UAP schools, but for the whole community na. So, we are back to normal.
Right.
Grabe. And of course, we're wrapping up season 85 here. And for the first time in 2 years, gentlemen, you're going to have a break. We're going to have a break of a couple of months because the gap between this season and last season was very short because of the pandemic.
Yep.
Again, unprecedented 2 seasons in a single calendar year. Edie, how are you spending the break? Father, how are you spending the break?
Ito lang, last Sunday, I walked sa Luneta. Sabi ko, this is the only Sunday this year na naglakad ako sa Luneta. Kasi most of my Sundays ay nasa tournament.
Nasa venues.
Kaya last Sunday, sabi ko, uy, tapos na palang UAAP. So that's the sign for me.
And of course, Edie, big plans for next year?
Ako naman still suffering from withdrawal. Parang wala na kaming gagawin. Nakakashock eh. Of course, a lot of work will be done in the UAAP off-season.
Yeah.
Ganda nung team, dapat sikreto eh. But basically, it's kung ano yung nasimulan with Rose as one, medyo sisindihan pa ng susunod na host.
May clues doon.
So may clues na lang muna ulit. Ayoko sa akin manggaling.
Gentlemen, again, we really appreciate the both of you and thank you very much for a successful return from the pandemic. Full season ng UAAP. We cannot wait to see how the both of you can help build on it next season. Maraming salamat.
Thank you so much.
And after the break, we'll get a preview of Game 1 of the Denver Nuggets versus the Miami Heat in the 2023 NBA Finals. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to The Game. We are just a few days away from witnessing the first clash of Denver Nuggets and Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. Now, before we get some hot takes, let's first break down the matchup of the Nuggets and the Heat with basketball analyst Jello Vito. Jello, welcome back to The Game. And of course, finally, meron na tayong matchup for the NBA Finals. Miami Heat, only a couple of days of rest for them, but they're facing the Denver Nuggets. Siguro, big picture overview muna tayo. What can you say about this matchup?
First of all, like me and Pao was talking off-air, Miami, yung may pinakamahirap na route to this finals. They had to face probably the best of the best sa East, with the Bucks, with the Knicks and the Celtics.
Yes.
And then, pero itong si Denver, feel ko sila yung pinakamadali because they only lost 3 games in the playoffs and sweeping itong Los Angeles Lakers. Sorry, LA fans. And I think this matchup would be, I don't want to say it's a underdog versus a top dog game kasi again, you know how Miami is, whether they're the 8th seed or the top seed, they can still play, they can still dominate. And another advantage siguro if you're Denver is you're well rested right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things pan out in the finals.
You know, I was going to say that it's not that Denver had a hard road or had an easy road, but rather they made it look easy. Again, na-sweep na rin yung Lakers. Sorry, direct. Na-sweep na rin yung Lakers. But the way that Denver went through the playoffs, have they met a team like the Miami Heat that could potentially cause them problems? Because it feels that the Miami Heat feel like they're cut from a different cloth. In fact, nakita natin yan sa celebrations ng Eastern Conference Finals. Walang celebration halos. Compared to what happened to Denver.
But if you're looking at kung sino sana yung magiging comparison ng Miami during the Western Conference playoffs, I really think that it was supposed to be the Golden State Warriors in my end. But again, syempre, Lakers took care of business. Yun sana ang magiging magandang matchup. if you're gonna be Denver Nuggets, Golden State would have been the perfect matchup for them. Siguro matcha-challenge pa sila lalo if it was the Golden State Warriors, but then again, Lakers took care of business and they didn't pan out. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean.
Right. And coming into this matchup, everyone's asking, right, who's gonna stop the Joker? Well, Bam Adebayo, based on their numbers here in the playoffs, will he be able to stop or at least contain itong si Jokic?
Look, to the point that pati yung mga cameraman natin, they've been asking, who can stop the Joker?
Yeah. I think better matchup talaga in this series is probably Bam Adebayo. I think if you're gonna look at other teams, wala talaga akong makita na magma-matchup kay Nikola Jokic. Bam Adebayo has been anchoring the defense of Miami all throughout the playoffs, even in the regular season. And you want him to stay aggressive and hindi mo talaga masastop si Nikola Jokic. You can't. You just can't.
Yeah.
But just to contain and to limit his numbers, that would be perfect if you're Miami.
Yeah, you take a look at all of the assist numbers, 11.8 assists, and it's not as if limiting Jokic into just being a scorer instead of a passer. It's such a double-edged sword because there's another guy that you have to worry about. Jamal Murray. And Jamal Murray against Jimmy Butler is probably the matchup that people are going to be looking at.
Yeah.
You take a look at this and perhaps Miami might have a slight edge in this particular matchup. Where do you fall on this?
It's really tough to say. Kasi, again, Jimmy, both are leaders, both are hard-fought guys. But if I'm gonna look at the matchups per se, I think mas mahihirapan ng konti dito si Jamal Murray in terms of, syempre, he's the point guard, he's the top point guard of Denver. You know, may scoring siya, meron siyang passing, but if you're gonna look at Jimmy Butler is the entirety of Miami. Kumbaga, if you think about Miami, it's Jimmy Butler. And the intensity siguro na, and the drive and yung swag na madadala ni Jimmy Butler in this finals, it's gonna be interesting to see.
Right. If you saw the numbers, obviously, lamang si Jokic and Murray in terms of scoring against Adebayo and Butler. But maybe because this is itong role players ng Miami, sila yung mas nakakatulong compared to the bench of Denver. What would you say about their sixth men? Sino yung nakakalamang dito between Denver and Miami?
Again, correct kita dun. Sabi ni Jimmy Butler, there are not role players, they're his teammates.
Oo.
Yung teammates niya. But itong yung structure kasi nito ng Miami, the way I see it, is it's structured as parang it's not a your turn, my turn.
Yeah.
Baga, kung sinong mainit, bigay natin. Perfect example, Caleb Martin in that Game 7 against the Celtics. 26 points, 10 rebounds. Again, who would expect someone like him to step up? And then you have guys like Max Strus, Kyle Lowry, medyo nagpakita siya nung Game 7, and the returning Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be an interesting thing to see if you're Miami.
You know, it's funny again. We're still seeing photos from the Miami Heat and their celebration. No one is smiling because they know the job's not done, and you have to feel that is because of how Eric Spoelstra has really embedded this Heat culture in the team. Now, coaching matchup: Mike Malone. Honestly, one of the best basketball minds right now because of what he's done with Denver. It's not just because he has Jokic, he has everyone firing. But Eric Spoelstra, the two of them against each other, who has the edge?
That's a tough one, but I think I'd go with Mike Malone with this one.
Really? Okay.
But not discrediting Coach Spoelstra. He's been with the Heat. He's been with a lot of superstars. He's been with a lot of not so superstars with Miami. And ito yung perfect example na his brilliance as a coach. He knows how to adjust. He knows how to... Kasi isipin mo, 3 straight ka ng Celtics and siguro others would like just back down and just give up. But the way he implemented his system, the way he controlled everyone in that locker room, it's really, really, really tremendous if you're Coach Spoelstra.
Right, so we're taking the first-timer over the sixth-time finals appearance.
He is, by the way. We are not. He is.
Yes, correct. Thank you for correcting kasi maingat tayo.
Yeah, we have to keep distance from Jello kasi minsan yung mga take na masyado mainit But then, given all of that, I think one of the more interesting things to watch out for is itong si Spoelstra with his zone, which has been a big factor throughout this season, and how Mike Malone is going to try to inevitably wreck it.
I think they implemented, for me, the way I saw it, Miami Heat implemented that zone defense because of the matchups against the Celtics. For sure, there will be some adjustments, some tweaks, lalo na the offense is revolving around Nikola Jokic, so the defense might be focused more on how to contain and to limit Nikola Jokic and the others.
You know, I love Jello Vito's analysis, but that's not the reason why we bring him on the show. The reason why we bring him on the show is coming after the break. Now, we'll continue our NBA Finals discussion with some spicy hot takes for the entire series. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to The Game. Our preview of the NBA Finals matchup between the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat continues with Mr. Hot Takes himself, Jello Vito. Now, in honor of his own nickname, the show tonight will not be complete without some fiery hot takes. So watch out for this series, and of course, this is extra chili in it, extra spice. Yeah, it's not just because we just came from Cambodia. This is because Jello Vito likes it extra hot this time. So we have not read the script, Jello. And so I'm going to read this first time, and I wonder how surprised we're going to get. So this is your hot take number 1. Hot take number 1 mo. According to Jello Vito, Mike Malone will out-coach Eric Spoelstra. Bakit, Jello?
Magagalit na agad yung mga Pinoy niya.
Marami nang magagalit yan. When I was doing the hot takes, sabi ko maraming magagalit ng Miami Heat fans sa akin. But the way I just looked at it in how he handles stuff.
Okay.
I wanna kasi the level of talent na meron si Denver right now with Aaron Gordon, MPJ, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and paano niya nakuha lahat yung napabuy-in yung team na yun into that system, and to be a well-oiled machine right now. I really feel that kontrolado niya yung players niya, so mas magiging madali yung trabaho niya come this finals. But again, not discrediting Coach Eric Spoelstra. He's been great. He's been the best. But in terms of adjustments, I think mas may edge ng konti dito si Coach Eric Spoelstra. But the way he controls everything, I think I have to go with
Okay, Dip,
Coach Mike Malone.
do you want to poke holes or what do you want to do?
I'm good with that. But ayoko na, nag-iingat na lang ako dito. Pero yung tanong ko lang, meron bang pa-motivational video si Mike Malone? Because diba, Coach Eric, Bam was crediting Coach Eric for that
15-minute long motivational video.
We'll find out when the games are done. But hot take number 2 for Mr. Hot Takes, Tyler Hero's comeback will not be a factor. Why do you say so?
Yeah.
I mean, Miami has guys like Caleb Martin, Max Struss, and
Gabe Vincent.
Yeah, Gabe Vincent, who's been tremendous for Miami. And nafe-feel ko lang na since he's been out for so long, nakita natin siya, he's shooting around and all of that. The reports are saying that he's gonna come back on sa Game 3, first home game ng Miami. But I don't really think, parang feeling ko makakasira na lang siya sa flow ng Miami right now. And I think the best bet pa rin talaga is put all those teammates of Jimmy Butler there rather than Tyler Hero.
And speaking about bets, may bet na si Jello Vito sa Finals MVP. And because ito yung Finals MVP niya, you know who he thinks is going to win the championship. Sabi niya, Jamal Murray will win Finals MVP. That's actually hot considering over Jokic.
Yeah, I mean, yes, Jokic will be there. He's gonna be the leader. He's gonna do everything for Denver, for sure. Passing, rebounding, scoring. Nikola Jokic is there, not to discredit him. But yung drive and the leadership, yung talagang sumakay kayo sa akin, I think nakikita ko yun kay Jamal Murray entering into this series and the way kumbaga, may chip on his shoulder tong si Jamal Murray, nakikita ko sa kanya. And for him to win that MVP, siguro it will cap off everything for him.
Right, and because what Pao said, alam mo na yung Finals MVP, you already chose a winner virtually, and it will be the Denver Nuggets. Pero in how many games?
Denver in 6, baby.
Denver in 6.
Close up, please. Close up.
Yeah. Okay, you save that. Ito yung screenshot nyo yan. Because Denver in 6. So, first NBA title in franchise history, according, if it does happen. Why the confidence in Denver? And how much credit are you giving Miami to actually stretch it to 6 games?
I mean, you know, if you're Miami, for sure the fight will be there. And right now they have the momentum in terms of everything. They've been winning, they've been grinding, but isang factor dito, if you're Miami, is your fatigue. I mean, tuloy-tuloy yung laro mo, you've been battling it out. Kakagaling mo lang ng 7 games, stretch against the Celtics, and if you're Denver, again, well-rested ka, you have time to prepare for Miami. Again, ipapakondisyon sila dun sa high altitude facilities nila and all of that. And I really see na yung advantage pa lang ng ganun, nasa Denver na kagad. So, let's see.
Jello, we're going to take a look at the text messages between you, Rain Tixon, and Chris Newsom, the only Denver fans I know, to make sure that, okay, nothing was said or given to you
walang usap to.
for all of this. So again, Jello, maraming salamat. We can't wait to see whether or not your predictions come true. The predictions of Jello Vito are surprisingly accurate. I don't know why. It just happens. But ladies and gentlemen, Jello Vito, maraming salamat.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you for joining us. I'm Dip Dipianco.
I'm Paolo De Rosario, and this has been The Game.